Thank you, Chris, and thanks everyone for joining us today. Should be a good discussion about using AI for your organization. As Chris mentioned, my name is Steve Wyken. I'm the Chief Customer Officer here at Data Intelligent. Joining me today, in addition to Chris, is Ali Mika. She's from Salesforce Tableau, and she'll later in the presentation will show you Tableau Pulse. There we go, make sure there we go. So today's agenda, we'll start with a brief overview of some of the challenges organizations are facing trying to start their AI journey. We'll go over some use cases, some practical use cases that we're seeing as a company. I'll turn it over to Ali then to show you Tableau Pulse. And then we'll finish with just some ideas about how you can get started if you feel like you're kind of stuck and don't know where to start with AI. So let me first just give a quick overview of Data Intelligent as a company. We are a data analytics company, and our focus is to help our customers use data to make their communities better. So to that end, we focus on two main markets, nonprofits and higher education. And we come to the market with a somewhat different approach, what we call data analytics as a service. So customers subscribe to our services, our capacity, to deliver solutions to them. So think about, when you subscribe to Netflix or Amazon Prime, you pay for capacity, fairly easy to get started and start getting the work going there. And what we find through this model is that we're able to do a few things that make us a little unique. We're able to deliver solutions fairly quickly. So usually within the first 90 days, we're able to give our customers some value. And we're also pretty flexible and agile. The subscription model allows us to do that. We're also very focused on enabling our customers to become more data-driven. We do this through consulting with them, bringing best practices to them. One of the things we stress, and this is important when we talk about AI, is establishing a unified data platform. And I'll talk about that in a second here, a little bit more. And finally, we're easy to work with. The subscription model eliminates a lot of that time and materials type of contracts that you may be used to when you engage a vendor to help you with data analytics. So a brief overview of the Data Intelligent platform. I bring this up because I think this, and I'll tell you why it's important for your AI capabilities, developing them. So we come to market with a platform where we help bring all your data sources together into one unified platform in the cloud that then you can take and you can create your data sets to create your analytics. And this accelerates your ability to develop those solutions, to use your data to improve your operations. What's important, I think, for this discussion is once you pull all your data from your sources through the pipelines into that data lake in a cloud platform, this is where you can bring in your AI capabilities if you don't have any in there. So there's a lot of cloud-based AI algorithm models, et cetera, that can be incorporated to then develop your AI-driven solutions. So brief overview on the company. Now I want to talk a little bit about the challenges we're seeing within the marketplace here. When we're talking to our customers, there's typically 4 types of challenges that they're facing that are preventing them from really embracing AI. The first one is how to get started. There is so much information out there in AI, a lot of hype around this, that for an organization that doesn't know where to start, it can be overwhelming. So they're somewhat paralyzed and don't know how to move forward. Second challenge they may not have the resources currently on staff to really lead the project or to develop and maintain those AI models. This is, these resources are in high demand. So a lot of organizations just don't have them on staff. The third challenge they may have is not really identifying a good use case for applying AI. We find some organizations will start dabbling in AI and just to experiment with it, but since it's not tied to a business problem, they don't see the value in it, so that the initiative stalls. Finally, they may not have the infrastructure in place, so the technology and tools. That's why I made a brief comment on the Data Intelligent platform, because some organizations just don't have the infrastructure to really build and deploy and maintain those AI models. So let me talk about some examples of AI, artificial intelligence, practical ones, so you get a sense for what we're seeing in the marketplace as far as our customers using. This here is a higher education example here, because that's one of our main verticals we work in. But a lot of these use cases can be applied to other industries here. So I'll start with talking about predictive analytics. Predictive analytics is where you take large amounts of data, typically historical data, and you use the AI tools to identify patterns within there that drive a certain outcome. Okay, so in this case here, you can see 4 listed here. An easy one to think about is looking at, if you're a school, looking at your admissions and enrollment. And what AI can do is look at, let's say you have 10 years worth of historical data. AI can identify the certain features that students have that increases their likelihood that they'll enroll in your school. Okay, so once you have that model built, then you could use that then to predict your future enrollment. And if you see it growing up or down, you could develop strategies then to improve your enrollment. Similar approach for student success and retention, identifying those factors that students have that increase their likelihood of coming back the next term. Similar thing for graduation and program success. And finally, around donors, a lot of schools rely on donors to keep the lights on, keep the school going there. You can do the same thing. You could look at your historical information, who are more likelihood to give to your school. You could identify those features through AI, and then you could use that to identify new opportunities. The second big bucket of artificial intelligence called generative. This is probably where a lot of people get excited, because this is really what your Chat GPT is about, okay? So if anyone's used Chat GPT, what's great about it is you can type in natural language. You can say, tell me what our PTO policy is, let's say. And that what the tool does is go through a bunch of different data sets, pulls together an answer, and puts it back in easy to read language. Okay. When you think of generative AI, what it's doing, it's generating something new based upon information it's querying. Some of the really good use cases here, we listed one here. Look at document search. So document search is, a lot of organizations have their key policy procedures, et cetera, to run the organization, stored in different formats, different data sets. So if you need an answer, like I use the example, what's our PTO policy? A lot of times you got to click through a bunch of different areas, folders, et cetera, to get the answer. What a generative AI tool will allow you to do is type into a little search bar, what is our policy? And it would spit back then, it would go through, query all the different data sets, and give you an answer in easy to read language. Similarly, for basic workflow automation, this is really I use this a lot. I think hopefully some of you guys are doing that for using like ChatGPT, Microsoft or Bing, and these other tools are coming out, where it'll help you like draft letters to customers based upon some information, respond to emails, take notes on meetings, right? Transcribe the notes and then come up with action things. So it streamlines your workflow, makes you more productive. Okay, so those are a couple other use cases we're seeing around generative AI. Okay, that was a quick run through here, but I wanted to lay some groundwork there on what we're seeing around use of AI here. What I'd like to do now is turn it over to Allie to kind of walk through what Tableau is doing with Tableau Pulse here.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for hopping on this webinar today. I'll be spending the next little bit talking about how you can use Tableau and how Tableau is using AI to power analytics. To quickly introduce myself, I'm Allie Micka, and I'm a solution engineer at Tableau. So I work specifically in our higher education practice, covering community colleges, four-year institutions, and for-profit education organizations across the entire US. And I'm more on the technical side of things. Been with Tableau for almost 4 years, and I'm currently based out of New York City. Also, my broader team does support all of the higher education across the US and nonprofits. So really in tune with the use cases specific to nonprofits higher ed, in addition to myself. As of right now, Tableau Pulse will be available for all Tableau Cloud users. If you wanted to get more in depth around what is going to be available immediately versus what some of the roadmap items are, I definitely recommend reaching out, or we can contact you to meet with your solution engineer to go over a little bit more in depth about what those specific roadmap items are. And then I'm going to go ahead. Actually, while I'm here real quickly, I will follow up with these resources as well, including our product page, which has a ton of in-depth information about Tableau Pulse, a blog about how Pulse, powered by Tableau AI, is changing the data experience, as well as a webinar that goes a little bit more in depth about some of the functionality here as well. But these are some really great resources to help you get started. With that being said, I'll hop in.
And I'll go ahead and drop these links
Um,
into the chat as well.
Okay, yeah. So I am showing my Tableau Cloud site. When Tableau Pulse is available on your site, you will see it here right under the Explore button. And then from here, I can click into Tableau Pulse. And then it'll bring you to your Tableau Pulse page. So these are all different metrics that I am currently following as it relates to education. So looking at course registration, which it looks like it's down versus the prior week. And it also looks like our suspensions and absences are decreasing. You'll notice that there is this summary of the insights based off the metrics that I'm following. So I can get kind of a summary version of what is being shown in each of these metrics. I can also click in if I wanted to see why course registration might be down. I can drill into our course registration, see additional charts, and then also be able to ask questions that are populated using Tableau AI. So I can see, which region decreased the most, and it will then populate a visualization for me where I can break down certain demographic information, or maybe I want to look at the courses that drop significantly for enrollment. I can click around to ask additional questions, drill in a little bit deeper, and then see a breakdown of the course registration by region, maybe by gender, age band, so on and so forth. All of these metrics have been added to this Pulse insight where I can filter down to get a better understanding of why my enrollment might be decreasing. And then as an end user, I can go in, adjust any of these if I wanted to look at maybe last month rather than last week, or maybe I just want to look at today's data. I can adjust those filters and then the visualization will update accordingly. Right now, I am following this metric. So if I wanted to browse additional metrics on this site, I can go back to the homepage, browse all of the different insights, all the different metrics that have been created. If I wanted to look at enrolled first gen total, I can go ahead and follow that metric as well. And then in order to create a metric definition, I can click on this new metric definition over here on the right. And then I will see a number of different data sources. So these are all published data sources that have been uploaded to my Tableau Cloud site. If you have data management, have any kind of data quality warning on a specific data source, that will also be reflected here. So I can see that this specific data source is stale data. But then I can go through and look at a specific data source. So I'm going to go ahead and look at our weekly course enrollment. And once that loads, I can select which data source that I want to use, connect to that data source, and then I can start creating my metric definition. So here, you'll go in and name that data source or name that metric. We'll just choose enrollment. You can add a description to describe what you're looking at. And then this is where you start to decide what you want to track within the specific data source. So I want to look at our enrollment numbers. So I can select the measure as enrollment. You can choose the aggregation. So maybe you don't want to look at total enrollment. You might want to look at average enrollment over time. You can adjust what that aggregation is, and then ultimately choose the time dimension. So we're going to look at total enrollment over time. As soon as I select that, I have the visualization populate for me with the the natural language as well, so I can track that visualization, look at my enrollment over time by the registration date. And then when I went to that breakdown where I was able to select different filters, we can adjust what users are able to filter that metric down by adding those fields into this insight. So I'll go ahead and allow users to filter maybe by college, or maybe they want to look at a specific major or course, academic department. We'll go ahead and add all of them for now. And then I can save that definition, and now I can follow this. I can add additional followers. So maybe I need my entire team to be following this metric to track enrollment. I can go ahead and follow this, as well as add other users that are on my site and add them so that they are able to follow this as well. And then from here, you're able to view the breakdown. I can look at which colleges had the lowest enrollment, maybe which courses had the lowest enrollment. And that is how you're able to create these metrics. As I mentioned, let me go back here, back to the homepage here, we can see that metric is now followed on my homepage. And then you can also subscribe to these, so you get a regular data digest in your inbox or via Slack on a cadence of your choice. Up here at the top, I'll select my profile, choose my preferences, and then you can choose how you want users to get those insights. So whether that be via Slack, email, both, and then you can choose how often you receive it. So you might want these updates every single day, maybe weekly or monthly is enough, and then you can go ahead and save that. And then just to show you what that would look like, I opened my email for those pulse metrics that I followed. So I have the email breakdown. I received this the 15th, so looks like yesterday. I can see the updates to all of those metrics on my email as I scroll down, and then I can also go in to Slack. So I just took a screenshot of my Slack, and I have this data digest there as well. So it's all within the workflow that you are accessing on a daily basis. Roadmap is the ability to share these out and then drill into these metrics as well via Slack. And that is about it.
So, you heard from Allie, a lot of great stuff come from Tableau here, but just want to go over some ideas too, other ideas on how to get started as well on your AI journey. One thing we recommend from Data Intelligent is start with a pilot, right? So one thing we work with our customers on is, start small. Start with something that will find a use case that has clear value, that's pretty straightforward, and that will allow you to kind of assess whether you have the infrastructure in place, whether your data is ready to really use all the AI tools that are out there. And then what we do, we work with our customers on this for a pilot, and then we provide a roadmap for them to kind of move down their journey to use AI there. So that is one thing we offer as well. So if you're interested, please reach out to us and we can talk more about how we can help you on this topic here. Here are the resources Allie mentioned, and as she mentioned, and again, if you want to follow up, it looks like talk to your account team, et cetera, at Tableau, get more information. But these resources are available, and I think Chris, you put them in the chat. Allie, anything else you want to add? I think that's your direction for folks, right?
Yes, so we're rolling this out now. I have access to it in my site. It is in beta, but the best way in order to have these more in-depth conversations specific to your specific environment would be to work with your account team, and we can help figure out next steps and the best path forward for you.
Yep. And just a little plug for us, we're a partner of Tableau, so we could always help where we can. So that is it. Well, thanks everyone.